Continuing to cleanse your soul, today we're hitting the reset button on our relationships. From your partner to your friends, toxic emotions like resentment and bitterness can dramatically affect your health and your happiness. So how can you stop toxic saboteurs?
Yeah, what are the red flags you should not ignore? Psychologist Sabina Reid joins us now live from Melbourne. Hi, Sabina. How are toxic relationships harmful to our health?
Look, what we see in toxic relationships is a repeated effect on our physical self, psychological self, emotional self. So that affects our sleep, it affects our appetite, and more than anything, probably our sense of self and our sense of confidence, which is eroded.
Okay. Hey, let's talk about romantic relationships. What are the signs your partnership could in fact be toxic or turning toxic?
I think it's really important, Larry, to highlight that a toxic relationship takes two people to be toxic together. So we need to look at what we're bringing. But the number one thing I hear people talking about is a loss of me. I've lost the real me in this relationship. Another sign of toxic relationships is believing that everything in the relationship that's not right is your fault. So there's a sense of a guilt and a sense of fault instead of a shared responsibility. So there are multiple reasons or feelings that come up when we feel we're in a toxic relationship, but what's more important is what can we do with them? How can we move forward in recognising the patterns and what we bring to the relationship that's not working?
So you're talking about a detox, right?
A detox.
Yeah, so what steps can you take to detox a relationship?
So when we detox a relationship, we need to at first communicate our feelings. If we don't do that, how can our partner possibly know? We need to, most importantly, identify behaviour patterns that we might have been bringing to the relationship and perhaps that we've brought to relationships in the past. And the most important is to recognise that we always have choices to respect ourselves and to create boundaries. We always have choices in a relationship.
Okay, well, so someone who takes up emotional space can also be your closest friend. And in fact, in other segments, we might say, you know, it's job as a friend to listen to your friend's problems all the time. So how can we identify those toxic signs when it stops being just a friendship, a supportive friendship, and turns toxic?
So in a toxic friendship, we tend to see that friends are only there during the good times, that they only step up when they need you or they need something. So there's a one-sided element to the relationship. And every encounter with this friend leaves us feeling negative or poorly about ourselves. And there's also a sense that our friend somehow doesn't respect who we are or honour our needs and our dreams.
Alrighty then, so what about, that's friendships, what about when it's family?
Family's so complicated, isn't it, Kylie? Because often when we have a toxic relationship in our family, it's due in part to history, family of origin influences and dynamics that we've experienced growing up. So the first thing to do is to consider, is the toxic relationship occurring because of an event that's happening right now, or is it based on something from the past? But to know that, again, we always have choices. We don't choose our family members, but we can choose the boundaries we set with them, and we can choose the responses we have to negative interactions with them.
All right, it's been a lot of good information there and will be very relatable to a lot of our viewers on all those fronts. Thanks for talking to us this morning. We'll see you soon.